Welcome to another episode of SidekickTV. Today I'm joined by Emma Wojtas and we're talking about network marketing. Now, I've got to be very grateful for Emma joining us today because we filmed this yesterday and the video is absolutely fantastic, but unfortunately we didn't record any sound. So thank you so much for doing this again.
It is my pleasure, my friend. Yes. We have no excuse not to get it perfect this time around because we've had a test drive.
Exactly. The second thing I should probably mention is, yes, my face is a bit different. So I learned the lesson of not liming after a beer or two. So let me just share that advice with you all.
Takeaway number one of today's video.
I hope you're making notes. But look, Emma, I'd like you to perhaps introduce yourself to the audience here.
Absolutely.
Tell them a bit about what you do.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, hey guys. So as Rick said, my name is Emma and I am a Canadian New Zealander. We didn't cover that off yesterday. I feel like people will be like, is she American? So let's get that as your second point for your notes. I'm Canadian. There we go. And I have a social marketing business in the health and wellness space. My background was actually in corporate accounting, which is funny that we are here in this accounting office today. I feel like I've gone back in time. So I've actually had my business now for almost 5 years, which is massive milestone to hit in any kind of business. But for me, it was a combination of starting it was because I was kind of over the grind of working for someone else, and I'd basically was under a glass ceiling, and I thought, right, what's my next move? What am I gonna do? And I read about network marketing, and I was actually approached by a friend of a friend of a friend who at the time was also an accountant. And here we are 5 years later, and it's my full-time business. And I do a lot of things like this with Rick, talking about, how it works, busting certain myths about the industry, I suppose, that people maybe have, and really just explaining how it's evolved over time. And one of my major passions is like ushering it into the mainstream as a very normal way that people do business. So that's why we're here today.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And this, this conversation has evolved because it originally started, we were talking about network marketing almost being the new franchise business model. And I love new ways that businesses can look to grow. I'm a real believer that you can't just build it and people will arrive at your doorstep to buy. So what
if only. That would be great.
So, what are the inventive ways of actually growing a sales team, growing through new ventures, new offices, new branches, whatever it might be? That's something that's really close to me. So I suppose that takes us on to the first question. So Emma, how do you pitch network marketing to people?
Yeah, okay, well that's a really good question. It's about time you had one of those. So I actually do that in a number of different ways. You guys will know if you're in business now, which most of you will be if you're a part of this group. I'm really conscious of who my audience is that I'm speaking to, because I know that a lot of people will join or start a business like to do exactly what I've done, to replace an income and build an organization, build a global, like an expansion. And then there's some people that will just want like some part-time money, and that's what I love about this business model, is that it caters for both, and both people can get something out of it. But I guess where my real like wheelhouse or zone of genius with it is really just sharing that this is no different to a franchise opportunity, in that in terms of how you can scale it and how you can grow it. But what's different is the capital startup cost. So I actually looked into opening a franchise before I decided to align myself with the company that I align myself with. And one of the reasons that it took me out of the game right away was, one, the price point of entry. It was the opportunities that I was looking at were at least $250,000. At that time, that was not a feasible thing for me. And also, I didn't really know that while I had been working in accountancy and I'd had that kind of a business advisory experience, like I didn't actually know what it would look like to run a business. We didn't talk about this yesterday, but I feel like it's a good point to add, is getting into franchising is a lot of money to tip, or getting into any kind of business, but franchising, it's a lot of money to get off the ground, and you are most people are going in blind. So one of the things that I really loved about the network marketing opportunity is that it isn't a huge startup cost, and you're actually partnered with essentially a business mentor from day one to help you learn the things that you don't know. It's almost like an apprenticeship kind of thing. So for me, that was super appealing, and that's really because that was what I loved. That's where I lead now. And I just explain to people the similarities between the two different types of opportunity and the difference. And 100%, they're both only going to work if the individual works. And that doesn't matter if you've got a Burger King franchise, Orange Theory franchise, or an F45. Like with any business, if you're not prepared to put in the work, it's not going to work. Unfortunately, it would be just one of those things. If you could just push a button and away you go, that would be fabulous. But it's just not how it works.
And what I've found is as well, you can't drive other people.
No.
They have to be driving themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and I learned that in my corporate accounting job. I actually managed a really large team. And I found that I ended up spending a lot of my time managing, like being a part-time therapist, as opposed to actually getting about the business of doing my job. So I love that. While there's still an element of, coaching and mentoring and helping people out in my existing business, if they're not showing up and doing the work, like I don't have to pay them.
Yeah.
So
totally.
It's good.
Excellent. Obviously the industry, the environment you're in, wellness, skincare, beauty care, are there any industries that you think have the best impact in network marketing, or can it be open?
Yeah, okay. So first of all, and this was something that I didn't realize at the beginning, is that not all of the companies with a network marketing business model are created equal. So all the compensation plans are really different. The way that you structure your businesses can be very different. And also the different types of companies that actually turn their business to that model. So I'm aligned with a health and wellness brand, but there are utility companies that are in the network marketing. So you can be selling power, hydro, all that sort of stuff through that model. There's insurances. It's not so big yet here in New Zealand, but in the States, some of the largest network marketing organizations are actually those kind of service-based things. And it's really, I was thinking about this question we spoke about yesterday, because when you asked me that yesterday, I thought it was really suited to kind of, in the health and wellness space, product-driven business that's consumable, but it's also really well suited to any kind of, with the example of the utilities and the services things, in that when they're selling a service, if it's easy to attach a commission to it, like that kind of works. So if you're watching this and you have, maybe your current structure for your team is you have a sales force and they have a flat base fee and then commissions on top of that. Like if you're selling a product, I feel as though that it's easily converted into this type of business model, because of, it's not necessarily like you're not selling a project with an indefinite time frame. It's like, this is what it is. This is how much it's going to cost. It's either going to be that, and know for sure that there's like an end date to it.
Yeah.
It's not going to work in like a project management environment, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It can't be this ambiguous service. It's got to be, it's that or that or that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously the beauty of it is it works best when it's like becomes a consumable product, or it's a residual thing like a power bill or a phone bill where someone's ticked up to a 24-month contract. That business repeats itself. And what I do, it's with consumable product. So someone runs out of a product, they reorder the product, and then that's where it becomes quite lucrative for me, because I'm not constantly, I am always looking for new business, but it's not like every single month I've got like a baseline of business that I've built over time.
Yeah. I've even seen it as well. Like there are, softwares out there like this where people will build websites that will do the same thing, because it just clips the ticket. And so I think it's a phenomenal thing that small businesses should be looking at. How can they add scale to their sales?
Mm-hmm.
If you a small business owner now, you're based in New Zealand, and you're looking for this, what would you suggest as some of the first points that they could be doing?
Yeah. So again, I would be like kind of ticking a box of, do you sell a service? Is it a a product or a service, because that makes it so much easier. If you're in like a consultancy firm or it's like construction or something like that, that's probably not, it's going to be a bit tricky trying to implement it in that kind of environment. But it would, I mean, for me, I've really seen the difference is that actually giving the people in your organization the opportunity to have some skin in the game, so that the harder they work, the more money that they can make. Because that was exactly why I left the corporate world, because I was on a salary with a commission, but it wasn't like if I worked 80 hours a week, I would, I could do nothing or do lots and be paid the same. So obviously I did so much. I wouldn't just do nothing, but you know what I mean? But so I get sidetracked, but it's giving people the opportunity to have some skin in the game, so that there will always be people in your business who that they don't want to be an employee. They don't want to be an employer. They're happy going to work every day as an employee, and that ticks the box for them. But for the other people in your business who have that ambition, have that drive, if you don't offer it to them in some capacity in your existing business, like, they will go look for it from someone else. They'll get headhunted on LinkedIn. They'll speak to someone, like New Zealand is a village, and really, like, the world is a village when you've got social media and platforms like LinkedIn. So I think that would be the first thing, is offering people the opportunity to get some skin in the game and have, and I feel like you guys would do a bit of that here. And then the second thing is, I think it's also really important, we spoke about this yesterday, is not just focusing on your businesses, the people in your business's professional development, but also encouraging them to look into personal development. I myself had absolutely no idea about anything in this space before I had my business. Like, I didn't know who Tony Robbins was. I thought Oprah was just like a talk show host. I wasn't really interested in anything outside of career development. But what I've since learned from doing personal development is it's actually helped me to get the results that I want faster in my career, by getting more confidence, like understanding that most of the things in this world are like 80% mindset, 20% skill. Like, I know if I don't know how to do something, but I want to learn, like, I will find a way. And like, in this modern day and age, you can pretty much learn how to do anything on Google. Yeah. So I feel like maybe if that's not already something that you're exploring in your business now, is actually encouraging that, because it's going to foster a really awesome work environment for your people. They're going to feel like they're continually growing and continually being challenged, which again is going to kind of avoid that, like, turnover rate or whatever, and that sense of fulfillment will be there. Perfect. All right, and so is there anything else, like, there's hopefully people have been taking notes, they probably forgot after our first 2 points of your lime scooter. You're no lime scooter, and I'm Canadian. But yeah, there's people can, like you say, make sure that you've got a product in your business. Yes. Bring people along for the ride. Develop those people. Yes. They're the fundamentals. 100%. And I think the last thing too is, and this is something that I have a lot of discussions with people about, is even if you're looking to explore this industry yourself, or even if it's just taking elements of it, like, speak to someone who is actually a professional in the industry that has had success, that knows what they're doing. Because, like with anything, there's lots of people that don't. And I always think I'm never going to take advice or implement something into my business or my organization from someone who I wouldn't trade places with that's done it well. So I guess that's the other thing too, is if it's of interest, like, pick who you get the advice from. Yeah. You said yesterday, what was it, like, copy or emulate? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've lost that beautiful line. Hey, thank you so much, Emma. Thank you, Take 2 was great. Yes. As good as Take 1. Yes. Have an amazing day, guys. Cool. Bye. Thank you. Cheers.